Hello and welcome to Evolution Through Awareness. My name is Ash. I'd like to take this opportunity to not only just welcome you, but to also tell you a little bit about this channel and why I decided to create it. Evolution Through Awareness is dedicated to providing the kind of awareness that can change one's life for the better. If you've ever wanted to make a positive difference to your life and the current trajectory of your life, then this channel has been made for you. We all experience different challenges throughout our lives, different struggles, and sometimes we get lost in those struggles. But more often than not, we get lost in our own psychology. We trick ourselves into believing that we are where we are and that's where we're going to stay. So many people go through life squandering the possibilities, the potential that they may have, and denying the world a unique self-expression that can only come from you, as there will only ever be one you. I too have been lost in this kind of a trap. I went through years of struggle. My particular challenge was finding a reasonable and decent career, something that I could really sink my teeth into and go forward in life knowing that I was going to be okay. I went for years after my Defence Force career trying to find a way to transition into the civilian world. Needless to say, I failed many times. I eventually hit a point where I became extremely depressed. I felt hopeless, helpless, and I lacked a sense of self-worth. This was rock bottom in my life, and it occurred around my late 20s. I felt that I was way behind and I needed to do something to fix this. So in my moment of despair, fortunately for me, I decided to do things differently. Rather than digging deeper, going lower and feeling even worse, like I had so many times before, something in me triggered that made me realize I needed to do things differently. I needed to be different and think differently. I remember at the time I heard the definition of insanity, to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Suddenly I became very aware of what my problem actually was. I had been living that definition. So many of us fall into this trap. We get lost in a negative psychological behavioral pattern of thinking and acting. It leads us nowhere, yet we never seem to question it. In fact, more often than not, we defend our approach to life, despite the fact that it is not giving us and providing us the kind of results that we wish for and hope for. I look back to my moment of despair, that moment where I felt lost in life, and I wondered what the whole point of my existence was. And although it felt horrible at the time, I can honestly say that I'm very fortunate that it happened at all. You see, if that had not happened to me, that particular moment, then I would still be perpetuating that same negative psychological pattern. I'd be essentially in the same position I was at this point in time. It would be about 8 years ago now. So 8 years from the point where I started to struggle till now, I would be still struggling, living the same life, doing the same things over and over again and hoping that things would somehow improve. Luckily for me, I woke up. I snapped out of it. I managed to see what I was doing to myself. This is something that many of us are guilty of, and we continue to do it and hope that somehow life's just going to work out for us without us acting upon it, without us imposing ourselves upon it. Rather than that, we let life impose itself upon us. It has now been 5 years since I hit that rock bottom, that point in time in my life where things changed for me. I'm now a very different person to the person I was in my 20s when I had been struggling so much with my particular challenges in life. Immediately after my low point, after my rock bottom, I decided to do things differently. I decided that I had to do something different to what I had always done, because that had brought me nothing in my life. At least it hadn't brought me what I had actually desired. About a month after my rock bottom, I enrolled in a life coaching course. I started to buy books on self-development and health. I became intrigued and curious about why we behave and act and think the way we think, based on my own experience of struggling in life. I started to want to understand our minds, our brain, how it functions, how health functions in relation to our physiology, in relation to our life. Then I became interested in the world, how we engage with the world, why the world shapes us and how we can shape it. I wanted to improve, and I became addicted to it. And the more I improved, the better I got, the more confident, the healthier, the stronger, the fitter, the more knowledgeable, and the more aware, most importantly, the more I desired to share that awareness with other people. You see, I can look back now and think about the person I was when I was going through my struggles. I really didn't have an idea of my potential. I didn't even understand my own identity and character. I let life shape me. I wished that I had had the kind of person when I was going through my struggles, the kind of person that could help me understand myself better, to help me realize that I'm better than I was giving myself credit for, that there was so much more out there for me, that my potential was virtually unlimited, rather than being extremely limited based on my own perception and beliefs. The name Evolution Through Awareness comes from the fact that I believe we can evolve. We can't evolve according to the laws of evolution and nature in the true sense of evolution, but what we can do is change our minds, change our thinking, think differently, act differently, and behave differently, and be better adapted to the current environment that we exist in. After all, isn't evolution just adaptation in a sense? Beneficial adaptation designed to help us not only survive but thrive in a given environment. I would like to be part of a new evolution in your life, and as you evolve your thinking and your mind, you can change your life. Every single thing we do in our life stems from our thinking, from our brain, and how we empower our brain. You see, if we don't deliberately empower our mind, our thinking, and our behavior, then it will be conditioned for us through life. And that means it will be beyond our control, beyond your control, and you will simply be at the mercy of the tides and the currents. So whatever your problem might be, whatever your challenge is in life, however you think and behave right now, it can be changed. It can be changed to help you, to move you forward, to create a different kind of life and a brighter, better future than the one that may be lying ahead of you right now. The main motivation for this channel is based on a deep sense of empathy I have for other people who are struggling just as I had. As I said, I didn't have the kind of guide that could make the difference for me at the time, but I hope that you'll let me be that guide for you. If you're struggling, if you want to change something, if you want to set yourself up for a better, brighter, happier, healthier, more successful future, then please take the time to watch these videos, and hopefully it will trigger a change in your life too.